You probably clicked on this video seeing that it's obviously about what the best deck is in Wild currently, and you might have been seeing a lot of people on Twitter, you might see myself, Sky is falling about the Demon Seed early on in the meta. It's been like, what, 6 days, and we already know that it's not good anymore. Like, it's not bad, don't get me wrong, but the reason I'm showing Quest Warlock here as a transition is it's not the best deck in the game. Don't listen to people like Zeddy. Don't listen to people who are crying about it on Twitter. It's really not that good, especially at like top 1,000, which is where it's kind of like the middle of the month, where most people, there's only probably like 3,000 people in Legend right now. So you should understand that that's still great. It's not amazing. It's still fine. You can still play it. It's still a good deck, but it's like tier 2 at most. Low tier 2. Some people are even claiming tier 3. It's not great, and I'm going to go into why. Using the new meta feature on Donkey that you can go and show your format for Wild and then look at Legend, you can see the stats. The top 5 decks in the game. Rogue, Paladin, Rogue, Hunter, then Quest Warlock. Quest Warlock, super popular, so people are countering it. Wow, that's actually crazy. I had re-recorded this video twice, and I didn't notice this. That Highlander Priest, that Reno Priest has 13.3% player rate. That's kind of nuts. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, this deck, don't play Quest Rogue if you actually are trying to climb. Play one of these Rogue decks, or if you don't want to play Rogue, play Highlander Paladin. Let's go into why. Look at these win rates. You see the win rates, 82, 78, 62, 54, 68, 59, 54, 56, 60, 63, 59. Rogue decks are great across the board, and let's go look at the decks to see why. First, you have Miracle Rogue. This is from Memnarch. Memnarch, great player. Yeah, so you know who to listen to. Memnarch is running this version of Miracle Rogue from the Tempo Storm report from April was the last one, I think. Or no, from May, sorry. Last one, but still the same deck. This was from last week, it looks like. Maybe 2 weeks ago. But it wouldn't change. It didn't really get any new cards. Some people are saying that the pack null version is good, but I haven't really seen it that much. I'm going to be honest with you, so I'm not going to talk about it because I don't want to say, something that I just don't know. I know all these other decks. I don't know the pack null deck that well. Now, looking at these, look at all these cards. It's just very standard what you would expect. It's really good. It builds a gigantic board. I've seen people win the game by having Arcane Giants on turn 2. I've had at least one Arcane Giant on turn 2 before. Usually turn 3 you can have Arcane Giants. It's insane what happens when you can have multiple Giants and Breakdance Giants on board on turns 3 or 4. Your opponent can't deal with them, unless they're the Rogue and they have sorry, not Rogue. Well, yeah, I guess Rogue can deal with it, but unless they're Priest and they have Hysteria or Mass Hysteria, things like that, can't really clear the Giants very efficiently. You just win the game a lot of the time, and it's really, really good. Then at number 2, you have Kingsbane Rogue. We can see some matchup spreads as well. It's really good into a lot of decks. Starts suffering against Paladin. We'll talk about that in a minute, why it's suffering against Paladin. But it's got some really good matchup spreads, pretty decent amount of total games for a sample size. And then here we see the list. This is Martian's list, actually. I'm not a fan of Mic Drop personally, but it's fine. It's not the worst card in the world. There is no Valera's Gift in this deck. Valera's Gift is a pretty good card, especially after, I would not run Mic Drop personally. This list is pretty old from March 9th, but that's probably why. Of course, that's probably why, that Mic Drop's still in it. This is definitely a fine list to help you get to Legend if you want to play Kingsbane Rogue. Do not get me wrong. It's pretty good, but you should probably find a more updated list. Usually they're going to be running Valera's Gift and no Mic Drops because, you don't need this card. You have much better card. Just all. And there is, you have Prep, Gear Shift, Secret Passage, Silverleaf Poison, all that kind of stuff. It really is just a fast draw deck anyway. Then, of course, you have Pirate Rogue. Everyone knows that Pirate Rogue got fucking uber buff for some reason because of Standard. Look at these stats across the board. Let's go look at the deck. It's just nuts. This list is pretty cool as well. Memnarch again as well. This is an older list, yeah, but you can still play it. It's still fine. It runs Cold Blood, which is a great card. 1 mana, 4 damage. Ziliax is Pylon Ticking Module. Just a really good deck. You have the new Treasure Distributor, which got buffed to also gain attack itself. Fucking broken as shit, dude. Why do they do this? It's just so good. It's so easy. If you need a fast climb deck to Legend, you should play Pirate Rogue. It's probably the best aggro deck in the game right now. It's got insane reload with Toy Boat, which is way better than people thought, myself included. I thought that you wouldn't have a reason to play this card, but it's just so good. I thought there was more. You didn't need it because you had too much card draw anyway, but I was proven wrong. Crazy, crazy, crazy fucking deck. It's so disgusting. So dumb. I'm going to do the Paladin deck last of the 5, so then we have Garrote Rogue on it. Oh, there we go. See the stats, crazy across the board, big sample size, 7K games. It's really good. As you can see, here's the list. I'm not, it's by OTC, great players, consistently, like, top 5 in Wild at any given point. I'm not a big fan of Flay Fighter personally. When I play this deck, I like to have either a Ghostly Strike, a a Gone Fishing, or a not Shadow Knights. What the fuck is it called? Door of Secrets? What the fuck? The 1-mana draw a spell that with the infuse get a copy. I like that in the deck because say you already have your board built out, because the whole point of this deck is that you build a big tempo board with pirates, and you can push some damage to your opponent to make your Garrote combo a lot more threatening. So when you have Door of Shadows, I think it's called, get the infuse pretty efficiently, and then you can get more copies of your other draw cards, your other spells, and I like that. I like tutoring my draw spells. It's really nice, and I think it's great. It also makes Dig for Treasure a little bit better because you have more consistency on what you're hitting. You don't have Fillet Fighter, which is probably the worst minion deck anyway, to hit, and then you can, draw more efficiently. You can hit your toy boats easier off of a Dig for Treasure. You can hit or brigands, which are free. You can hit like a prize plunderer, which can be removal, things like that. And it's just great. It's probably the second best aggro deck in the format, and it's easily the best combo deck. It's using all the good things about Pirate Rogue, and I mean, like I said, Pirate Rogue's already the best aggro deck in the format anyway. Do keep in mind, this deck is not easy. People seem to go into the mindset of playing this deck like, oh, it's super easy. I see people all the time play Garrote for tempo. Don't fucking do that. It's so shit if you do it like that. You give up all your chances at lethality of Street Trickster if you play this Garrote for tempo, and you don't gain much because unless you draw through your entire deck, like all you did was play 2-mana deal 2. Maybe it's gonna deal 4. It's just not worth it. As well as if you have Secret Passage still and you do that, you can draw the bleeds, which fucking sucks because they're still just 1-mana deal 2s, and that's terrible to draw off of your Secret Passage. So don't do that. Don't play Garrote early. Just wait. You're gonna get the combo eventually anyway. You're playing Rogue. Hold your pirates for Toy Boat if you think that you can kill your opponent like crazy. If you have a really good hand. I don't like playing a pirate on 1 if I have Toy Boat in hand ever. If I don't, I'll usually play a pirate on 1, but that's usually it. I think this deck is great. I think you should try and learn how to play it if you don't know how, and it's going to take you a few games. And then for Highlander Paladin, we have Engines deck. This is the one that I would play personally. Look at the stats here, 70%. It's really good into Rogue. The list is kind of hard to see, I will be honest, so let's try and never mind. That did not work. Okay, well, that sucked. Let's see. Back on Donkey. Let's see if it zooms in. Okay, there we go. So it is a Reno deck, so it's kind of hard to see. It's pretty good. It's a big, tax bundle. It's really good into Rogue because you have things like Hidden Wisdom to abuse the fact that Rogue is going to play more than 3 cards almost all the time. This card's pretty good nowadays because that's always going to happen. It's the same idea with Motion Denied. You have Cold Feet to prevent minions from being played. Dirty Rat, of course. Hydrologist is great. Forensic Duster to prevent minions from being played. Resistance Aura to prevent spells from being played. It's just a really good deck. I would play this if you really fucking hate playing against Rogue, especially. This is the ETC is using. I think Cold Feet is great. Speed's great. I don't know. I would not run Kangors or Tony, but it's just engine. He's just running for fun, I think. The Darkness, great. Reno tech card. It's actually really funny into heavy decks because you can get the Darkness out. Bully, Stop Battle Cries, things like that, yada yada. I don't really have much to say about the deck itself. I mean, if you want to play it, find Engine on Twitter, and then it's there. Or it'll be on Donkey, I think, as well. But yeah. So you might be asking, okay, why is it that Quest Warlock sucks? It loses to all the rogue decks. It loses to Hunter, and like it loses to like Highlander Hunter, which is secrets. I'll go back to that actually. It's this deck. Play Sinferno's version. Don't play anyone else's. This is a great version. You can make some changes, but like I wouldn't that much especially if you don't know Hunter. This is a great fucking deck. Look at this, man. It's so good. You're running Boom Pistol Bully because it's probably one of the best cards in the entire game. Shutting down Battle Cries is so great right now. It's so good right now, especially. It's much better than Loatheb even. It's crazy to say. And then use a lot of like regular aggro Hunter tools. Personally, I'm not a big fan of cards like Erelon, but that's just me. I also don't like running multiple. I don't like this Wolpertinger Starving Buzzard thing. That's my personal thing, but like you can run it. I think that having a 3 beasts to make your Selective Breeder always hitting your Dread Scale is really important for a Reno Hunter. It's so necessary, in my opinion. But again, that's just me. I mean, yeah, I get like into the meta right now. I feel like it's even worse to run these cards. The card draw is just not worth it over the fact that if you don't Dread Scale Blue against Rogue and anything, you're probably gonna lose. But again, it's just. I would also have Emotion Denied. Why the fuck? What? Why is there no Emotion Denied? Whatever. You know what? Whatever. This is just my nitpicks. If you want to play a good deck, play this. A good Hunter deck. This is very, very strong right now. My nitpicks are my thing that I'll change when I play it because I played this list once or twice. I didn't really get to fully flesh it out, but obviously if he's hitting 18 on ladder, it's really good. Sinferno's a great player. Here's his Twitter if you want to see. I'll go back for Engines actually. Here's Engine's Twitter as well. But yeah, this right here is why Rogue sucks or Warlock sucks. It's just not great. Don't listen to fear mongering about it. It's not a great deck right now. But yeah, if you enjoy, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.
Shadows are rising again, darker than they've ever been.